I am kicking myself for not bringing my kit, for not bringing the black jacket, which is a lot warmer. I just checked the temperatures for the day, and it's gonna go down to 13 degrees. I'm gonna be freezing cold, and I don't have my black jacket because what I'm wearing right now, this does not keep me warm. I'm cold. My hands are cold. My nose is cold. My face is cold. I'm cold. And it's not going to be fantastic today. Definitely not going to be fantastic. It is all my fault. I should have just brought my jacket, but I get harassed so badly. And people don't realize that when they're making fun of you, they're like, "Ah, look at you, you're wearing a jacket. It's summer." People don't realize that not only is that annoying, it is hurtful because I'm already feeling cold and uncomfortable. And then I have to deal with people making fun of me. Not fantastic. Not at all. So I wish people would stop. I put this stuff all over my social media. I don't understand why I'm still getting harassed. But pretty soon, I'm happy about that. We're going to have 5 weeks. 5 weeks that I can isolate. I'm sorry, but apart from my daughter and my husband, my friends, like very, very close friends all over the world. I talk to my friends mostly online because I've made friends all over the world. I know a lot of my Norwegian students here in Norway. They have traveled to 10, 15, 20, 50 countries. And it's a flex, right? And it's amazing for tourism and stuff. But to me, my flex is that I have lived in Norway, Brazil, the USA, Australia, and New Zealand. And I speak English, Norwegian, and Portuguese. And I studied Spanish as a child. I've been to Peru and Argentina. So my flex is that I've had meaningful experiences with the countries where I have been. And I speak the languages and I know the culture. And so I have friends all over the world because of these experiences. So it's going to be good. 5 weeks. 5 weeks I won't have to go and travel. 2 hours on the way there, 2 hours on the way back. And that's going to be good. So yeah. Whoever comes in, follow along with what I'm saying and then try to get into the conversation. I appreciate when people come in, but I usually I'm saying something, I'm telling a story, and I want people to, like, if you have something to say about what I'm saying, that would be good. So yeah, the real flex for me, right, is not like how many countries you put your foot in, but how many meaningful experiences have you had with the countries where you went. I know people that have been to 50-something countries and they speak English. They don't speak any other languages. They don't know the cultures of the other countries. So they took pictures of themselves and videos in front of the monuments, but they don't really know the countries where they set foot in. So I have friends all over the world because of the experiences I've had in these countries I mentioned: Norway, Australia, New Zealand, the United States of America, and of course I've been to Peru, and I've also been to Argentina. I speak Spanish. I teach Spanish. I teach English. Not just because I learned the languages, but because I went to university. I wish people would check out my long form content. There's so much there. Yesterday, I spent some time making thumbnails. I wish people would watch the long form content because I need my hours. I really do. So the engagement is good when people come in and they type things, but the hours is what I really need. I need people to sit. I need 10 people today to watch 10 different videos, like the long form content, like the interviews, the classes, all of that. That would be fantastic. I'm not a small talk kind of girl. I like having meaningful conversations, right? So if you come in and you hear me about Norway, the culture in Norway, the weather, the temperatures, comparing the temperatures to the winter in some other countries, and if you hear me talk about education, join in the conversation. Just join in so we can have a meaningful interaction. I am so tired. It's not even funny how tired I am. I am standing here in a little town called Hell. I wish I could see. There's a sign that says Hell. Much like you have the Hollywood sign in California, in Trøndelag we have the Hell sign on top of a mountain. Why I am alone here? That's what you have to say to me? Are you listening to what I'm saying? Do I have sound? Because maybe I don't. So I am standing in a little town named Hell in Norway. The word hell does not mean what hell means in English. So I'm not Miss. I am Mrs. I've been married now for 29 years. Thank you very much. The name of the city is Hell, Hell. It is a city in Norway. The word hell in Norwegian does not mean what it means in English. The word for hell in Norwegian is helvete. So if there were a city named Helvete, it would be a city named Hell. Trøndelag. I don't want to say it's a state because it's not a state, But Norway is very small, so you can't really divide a small place like this into states. But it's a region. And in this region, you have a capital. I'm loosely saying that because never said that to me. And I haven't seen this in any books. What I'm saying is, size-wise, compared to the other cities, it's a capital. And Hell is a city about an hour away from the capital. I live in the actual capital. So I'm going to get on the bus right now. Hi. I've been here since I was 28, 29, and I'm 53 right now. So you do the math. The math. So you might be able to see the sign that says Hell on the mountain. I'm gonna try to film it. Should be sitting on the other side of the bus so you can see it. I don't know if you were in the broadcast a few minutes ago when I was talking about living in Australia, New Zealand, the United States, and having been to Peru and Argentina and all that. But I can't really make this long story short, so I'm just going to tell the whole thing. I was getting my master's degree in education in English literacy in Australia. I was engaged in a very serious relationship with an Australian man. We broke up. I moved to the student residences at the University of Western Sydney. Let me see if I can. There's a sign. And there are lots of Norwegians living in Australia. I ended up getting married to a Norwegian man when I was in Australia. And we finished our courses. I finished my master's degree. He finished his bachelor's. We also lived in Brazil after that. But it was really hard for him in Brazil. He didn't really speak the language. And even after he learned, he couldn't get a proper job. So we moved to Norway because he's from Norway. And I've been here ever since. I think it's so much better when people ask me why I moved here instead of assuming that I was like, oh, I think I want to live in Norway. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do that because they think of like how rich the country is and how beautiful. But you gotta understand, somebody like me, like I love the heat. I grew up in Florida. I spent some of my teenage years and my young adult years in California. I lived in Brazil for about 20 years. So it's like I lived in Australia getting my master's degree. Those are very hot places I like. I like the heat, so I would have never chosen to live here. Not in a million years. I was gaslit. I was gaslit because people would say to me, Norway is only cold in the winter, but in the summer it's really nice and really hot. It's really hot in the summer. Is the hot in the summer in the room with us? Because most of the summers that I've spent here, every single summer I've spent here, it has been mostly days like this right here. Gray, 12, 15 degrees. And a couple of days when it's decent, and maybe a couple of weeks where you can say, okay, it's warm, but never hot. That's a very difficult question to answer because when people talk about liking to travel, like, oh, I love traveling, and they're talking about tourism, they pack a suitcase, they go to Morocco, spend a week there, they go to Spain, they go to Portugal, spend a week in each of those, and then they go home and they next vacation they have, they go to Croatia or whatever. They like traveling. You see? I've never really done that. What I've done is like when I was little, my dad, every summer vacation, we would travel throughout Brazil. So we went to places like Rio de Janeiro often, but we went to the whole of the northeast of Brazil, all of the hottest states in Brazil. We'd go to the coldest states in Brazil in the south. So we got to see Brazil. We moved to the United States. We lived in the United States, got to see some of the states in the United States. We lived there. My father was an electrical engineer. He had a 6-year degree and a master's in engineering. So we lived a very good life. My mom was an educator. So they valued seeing the world. And then we just enjoyed learning about the world through traveling. They valued a global education, so that's why I got my education in Brazil, the United States, New Zealand, and Australia. So that's why we lived in different places. I've always had a valid visa, and I never overstayed my visa either, so filtering my family. Let's talk about you though. Who are you and how did you find this channel? Do you know me outside the scopes of this channel? Who are you? Do you have a channel yourself? Do you broadcast live? Do you have TikTok, Instagram, and all of those? Or do you just watch different broadcasts? I was scrolling. Fair enough. I'm in Norway. What country are you in? Okay, cool. United States. Which state? I've been to Oregon, Idaho, California, North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia. Where else have I been? New York. Where else have I been? Did I say Idaho yet? Nevada, of course. Illinois. I know somebody in Illinois. His name is Adrian. He was a contestant in The Biggest Loser, and he granted me an interview. You should check it out. It's in one of my playlists. I have a playlist with all the interviews I did throughout the past few years. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's the United States. The United States has a proper summer. The United States has a proper winter, a proper spring, and a proper autumn. Norway has very cold, horrific 8 months for me. That's just my that's my assessment. And then they have about 3.5 months when it's more tolerable but still cold. And then there are 2 weeks out of the year where people say it's unbearably hot, but I'm just thinking it's finally comfortable enough for me. I took a flight in 1994 to LA, so I flew from Fix, Vitória in Brazil, to Rio de Janeiro, from Rio de Janeiro to Chicago, and from Chicago to LA. It's a long time ago. How old are you? Definitely, I can tell you what country I don't want to retire in, and it's here. I definitely don't want to die in this cold, horrible weather. I'm probably just going to go to Brazil. I have a very nice condo there. So if my husband wants to come with me, I would love for him to come with me and retire with me there. But if he doesn't want to come with me, then I will